you guys? Welcome to another episode of Can It Be Honest? And we are in season 2, and I cannot wait to share my special guest. She is an amazing TikToker. I know you guys have seen her videos, and if you ever wanted a birth chart reading, she is your girl. So, Shirley, welcome. Whoop, whoop.
Good. Thank you for having me.
Of
This is long
course.
overdue. I'm
Hey,
always late.
all for a reason. I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. So, Shirley, can you share with us a little bit about you?
Dang, that's a long one. How do we shorten 33 years? Is it 32? Sorry, I gave myself another year. So I don't like to call myself an astrologer because that's a label. And I just
Okay.
so that's one. But I am this girl from the Bronx that likes to study, and I'm Latina, Spanish for Dominican. And then see, I was pretty introverted growing up, and then close to 27, I started getting out of some shell that I was in because I'm a Cancer rising, so I started coming out of this
Ooh,
shell.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, besides that, there's so many. I basically call myself the jack of all trades. So there's so many hats that I fill. So there's not one in particular. And I'm just basically living life on the wham. Let's see, like just waking up and seeing where it goes and try to follow a routine in my life. But yeah, basically, I am a thrill seeker and a researcher. I'll go with that.
You are, but you are also like famous on TikTok. Like, let's keep it real.
I never realized. I don't see it. I don't go like, oh my god, I'm famous because I don't like. In New York is a big city, so
Yeah.
everybody kind of is like famous. Like everybody knows everybody. I don't know how to. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah, no,
So
that
like
makes sense.
it's like Los Angeles, everybody's like known, like, oh, do you know what, like that kind of stuff. But sometimes I only notice it like recently, every so often it happens. Like it's not like every day, like I'm not Kim or anything. I'm not like fame like that. Like that's what I call famous. But like I'll go somewhere and then people will point at me and I'm like, why would they like at first they used to be like, why are you pointing at me? Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, maybe they saw my face on TikTok. You know what I mean?
No, you
Mm.
guys. So I found Shirley on TikTok one day many years ago. I think I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was on TikTok and I was just scrolling, and I came on her page and she started talking about Capricorn risings. I'm a Capricorn rising, and
Perfect timing.
girl, right? We got that moon coming. And when she was talking about Capricorn risings and the chapters of our lives that we have at an earlier age because of just like what we're meant to be put through. Immediately one, when you watch her TikToks, you're just mesmerized because she is like super entertaining. Like you watch it and you're like, "Oh my god, I want to keep watching." Like
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Thank God.
But I remember seeing her on TikTok and being like, I need a session with her. Like I love learning more about myself. I think that's the best investment you can make is just like learning more about yourself. And I remember being like, I want to learn this. I want to know. I've always been into astrology, but birth chart, like I don't really think I've ever like dived into. And Shirley told me some things that I was like, I don't even know how that's going to happen. Like, really? Okay. Dude, I think it was like 3 years later. It all happened, and I'm all, Shirley, I remember emailed you. I was like, Shirley, you said this, it happened. You said this, it
Yes.
happened.
And
You
I
said
don't
that.
even
I was
remember.
like,
I'd be like, I'm glad it worked out. I swear, I'd be like, oh wow, I'm pretty good. When was this?
you are good. And I feel
Yeah.
like, so I'm super grateful for her because I feel like there's so many times that when I jump on her TikTok, I'm like, oh man, I feel like the universe was like I needed to hear that message, right? Or like the Matrix, I feel like I needed to hear that message and be like, okay, like it's cool. Everything's gonna like figure out, right? But Shirley, so how did you get into birth chart reading? How did that happen? Because you've been doing it for
I love that
years.
story. Yes, that is a funny story. Okay, it happened. I used to work at a sandwich shop. It's called Potbelly. I was like
Uh-huh.
19, and I had a supervisor. He is gay, but
Uh-huh.
he is exploring his feminine energy more. I don't want to say trans because I don't think that's the proper
Okay.
term, but he's a
Uh-huh.
trans girly. man, sorry, I don't know. Anyways, he comes up to me. We're like hanging out. This is after work. He looks at me, and I remember it because it was a moon in Scorpio. Like when I look back, it's funny because the moon is in Scorpio right now.
Wow.
But when I remember that
Oh,
because he's like, "You're a witch," and I was like, "Well, right back at you." Like I thought it was like I was. It's like he's like, "Oh, you know what? I want to see your chart," and I'm like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" So anyways, so he pulls up my chart in like it's like cafe astrology. This is years ago. This is like 2011, 2012, maybe no, I want to say 2013. And he pulls up the chart. He's like looking at it and he's like, "Oh my God, yeah, you would be so good at reading this. You should really learn whatever this is." And well, at the time he explained it. It's called natal charts. And
oh yeah.
I'm like, why do I want to do this? No, hell no. I'm an engineer because that's the role that I was playing at the time. I don't need this, blah, blah, blah. He left it on my phone. So when he went away, I've learned, once you look at your chart, you're never going to stop looking at it. It's just like,
Yeah.
your soul is bypassing your ego and all the other human distraction. And it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. You got to look into it. And so I read it and I knew some things about me. And I was like, okay, like, sure. It was I want to say the free version of it. And it's cafe astrology. So it's like
Oh
very
yeah.
generic.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, it knew some things about me, but then it started saying like, you would teach the masses. And I'm like, I'm smoking weed in the
Dang.
Bronx. Like, bro, I don't even go to school for teaching. So I'm like, okay, this is losing me. But the fact that I knew a little things about me, I started to go deep and I started to like, go on cafe astrology and learn other things. Because at the
Yeah.
time there was not a lot of I didn't do Twitter or Instagram.
Mm,
Nobody was talking about it. You would have to
yeah.
go like to Tumblr or YouTube or something. And that's how I kind of started from there. And it was like I kept going, and then I just buy like fast forward. The quote that says billionaires use astrology, not millionaires, by JP Morgan. And that
Yep.
struck out to me. And I was like, wait a second. Cause I need money in my brain. I'm 19 and 20 years old. Like
Yeah.
I'm like going through homelessness and getting kicked out. I'm like, yeah. I need to know how to get money.
Yeah.
So that's where I went into it. But astrology is a funny thing because it's spirituality and it does not care anything about external anything. Like it doesn't care about money. It doesn't care about material things. Between the age of like 20 to like 26, I'm on learning from Astrolotta, which is an amazing astrologer on YouTube. I'm learning from KRS. I'm learning from another young lady named Astro Cherry, Astro Victor. There was so many like astrologers that you don't even see them like that because I learned that again, it's not for you to seek fame or material things. It's to evolve your spirit, like to jump spiritually into a higher frequency. Because
Yeah.
like chakras, like it's to like open up these chakras. And I did. I was like, that's a real thing. And then once you open up the chakras, it's like a very scary feeling because everything happens so fast. So I kind of did
Yeah.
that 1 year before my Saturn return, and then
Oh
all of a
wow.
sudden, like I just gained fame out of nowhere and I didn't understand why. Because I was like, I thought this was how but in my chart, it makes sense. You remember in the beginning, it said you would teach the masses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now these are the masses of people. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
It was eye opening. I tried to make one thing I learned about esoteric knowledge. I try to make memories with astrology, like genuine
Mm.
sad or angry or any type of memory, like a very intense emotion. Because I'm like, I gotta know this. If I have to come back here in another life, baby, I need to know the whole thing. I need to go back to astrology. One thing I will only come back for is astrology. I
Yeah.
don't care if I'm Asian, man. I just need to be back into astrology. That's because I refuse to be sleep. Once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep.
Mhm.
It's like the
That
Matrix.
and that's okay. And I think that's what I love so much about like when I jump on your TikTok and what you share about, because whether people understand that reference about like the Matrix. And it's so funny, my husband's always like, it's because I woke up from the Matrix like 20 years ago, like, right?
It's
And
true.
it's so true. And I look at him and I'm like, yeah, you are pretty like a manifester. It's insane.
Hmm.
But I think you did such a good job of explaining and nailing down about how astrology and anything that we do, which by the way, 15 years ago, I would have been called a loquita for wanting to know
Yes.
more. Okay.
No, they
Right?
called me crazy. I was called crazy for many years. Like,
Girl, me
trust me.
too. Me too. Just for liking. I would always be like, well, I'm a
Yes.
Capricorn, right? I'd be like, I'm a Capricorn. And everybody be like, my God, she's
You're
crazy,
on that
right?
woo woo stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And now it's
Listen,
so different, right?
yeah, it's like it's so many things that I would say and I would sound crazy, like word Sims characters to follow. And
Yeah.
then I found I was telling my uncle about coins before
Mhm.
Bitcoin was like a thing. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Until this day, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to give you that, but we would be rich. I was like, I know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know. But
You're
I
like
was the
the
woo woo person, you know, but
yeah.
I'll call me crazy. I will go at astrology every single time.
No, I agree with you. I think there's just so much when you no, but what I was saying is that, again, I feel like astrology is so accepted now, and it's
Thank
such a
God.
big right? It's such a big thing where I mean, look, I've always used astrology even in my corporate life, right?
Hmm.
I was like, if I know your sign, I know how to figure you out because, like, in a good way, right?
You
You
do
could use it in a
patterns.
bad
There's
way,
like a,
right?
right.
Yeah. Patterns.
People have patterns with like routine. Even if you like, you can meet a Capricorn who's negative, and then you could meet a good Capricorn. They're still doing some type of building
Yeah.
negative rapports or building positive rapports. But they're like building, you know.
They're doing
So
something. Yeah. No,
yeah,
it
it's true.
it's so true. And so, I know you've shared on TikTok in the past. So if anybody's followed her, you've seen it on TikTok. I know you've shared how heavy grief can be sometimes. You've lost your mom, right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, astrology told me that was the first thing that got me. But it didn't. At 19, I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking she's like gonna pass or die or anything, right? But it said you would have to grow up without your mom, and I'm like, yeah, I grew up without her now because me and her was already like not the best relationship then. So that's what got me in the beginning because I was like, okay, your moon's in the 12th house, you lose your mom. I was like, yeah, you got me. So even when I got and then I like knew because everybody talks about Saturn return everywhere. So I'm like 19, 20, preparing for a Saturn return. That's years later. Seriously. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm thinking it would show like a death of an elder or like a woman in my family or something like that. When I got to the timeline, I'm like, oh, I know who it is. So for like 19, 20, 21, all those years, I'm like thinking it's grandma. So I'm like taking her out to dinners and I'm doing memories with grandma. Cause
Uh,
again, I'm thinking, in my brain, it's like, okay, son is elder, grandma's the eldest. That would make sense. And then I'm like, she is the seed of Chucky. My mom's not going anywhere. So, the evil one always lasts in the movie. So I'm
yeah.
like, she was like a motive. I'm a Mars and Scorpio placements. We thrive in like revenge. So my entire life up until the time she dies, I'm like, I'm going to show you I'm better than you. You know what I mean? So I'm
Mhm.
like, dang. So that's how I was able to produce like out of pure revenge. Like I was able to produce like all these videos and all this content and learn and go to school and get a job and still fight homelessness in New York. So you wouldn't even know if you see me. I'm dressed like normal, have a car. I'm like 99% in my car. I like sleep in
Yeah.
people's different houses. As time goes by and it happens, I'm like, oh, like I knew it was coming. I was like, and because hers was like what do they call that? Anticipatory grief because she had cancer. So I knew,
Oh,
I was like, oh, so
yeah.
you're the one that's going to die. So I was, yeah, that's my, everybody has a Saturn placement. I think your Saturn is in Scorpio too. No? Your Saturn
Yeah.
is, yeah. So you would under Saturn and Scorpio, we're the opposites. So my Saturn is in Aquarius in the 8th, and your Saturn is in Scorpio in the 11th. So either way, we have to face grief. Like we have to like experience big ending and
Yeah.
transformation or life after the end. So that was like a awakening. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to walk through this darkness. You know what I mean? So it pretty in pretty, which was the last 3 years, by the way. So I'm finally, I guess, climbing out of a hill, if that makes sense, or a dark valley and going up the
Mhm.
hill. And so I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty, to me, to be honest, to me, she was already kind of dead in life, you know what I mean, with me.
Mhm.
So her not being here, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it makes sense now because all of that, like even astrology taught me that, like you chose all this, like I chose that, and it makes sense because I it all led me to having to get a job, having to learn astrology to like help my sanity because I was like it didn't make sense. I was like, oh, why am I getting rejected? And I don't give you anything. If you look at me in my own books, like I have a degree, I make my own money, have my own job, like her before, like things that as a woman, you usually didn't need a man or you need your parents. I did it
Yeah.
without all of those things, you know?
Mhm.
So I would be
Mhm.
like, other parents would be like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you're the perfect
Yeah.
child. And here she didn't care, you know? So I'm okay. I deal with it. I like that I knew very early. Again, I would thank astrology for teaching me this earlier on. It's the reason I got into astrology because they knew that one point. It's like, oh shoot, and you, they're right. But I'm glad I knew early. I don't know if that does
But
that make
isn't that
sense?
no, it makes perfect sense. Because I think I want to say my first session with you, you nailed it. And I had done my first reading with you on my late husband's birthday, and it was Scorpio season.
Ooh.
And I remember, yeah, and I remember sitting in the car, taking the reading, just super excited. And you immediately, you're like, oh, there's a Scorpio here, like you've lost a Scorpio. Like you were like, but super detailed. You were like, something's happened where like this person's not here no more. And you were like, does that make sense? You're like, I don't know if that makes sense. And I just like bawled. I started crying and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, today. I was like, today's his birthday. And you were like, yeah, you're like, and you help people heal, Shirley, because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you still, there are emotions that I think forever in my life of carrying grief, and we carry grief, is that as we unlock these new chapters of ourselves, I feel like I'm unlocking a softer chapter of me where old Carolina would have been like, no, I got this. I don't need nobody,
Mm-hmm.
to now I'm like, no, I'm going to be my soft era. I'm going to be my feminine era. No, I want to just, it's okay to feel and cry. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being like, oh man, she nailed this. Like she really, and maybe that was my message that I needed to hear the day of his birthday. But you made me think about things where you had said like, hey, I know this sounds really messed up to say this, but as an outsider looking at your chart, you told me you're all, that was your catalyst. Like
Mm-hmm.
that had to happen whether you like it or not. It was part of your
Mm-hmm.
destiny, right? And I always say this anytime I do a speaking event. I always say like, my late husband Andres would always tell me you have to find the beauty in every situation. And for me, I'm like, well, losing him made me the person I am today. I wouldn't have become the person I am today if it wasn't for losing him, right? I had to
Mm-hmm.
life had to knock me down really hard. But girl, broke AF, didn't tell anybody, like, like
Yeah.
the struggle train,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me a better person, a more resilient person who can sit here and say, you know what? It's okay. I know I can figure life out. I know I'll figure this out. I've been through
Mm-hmm.
worse, right? Like it's like I've
Yes,
been through worse.
yes, yes. And that's I think that's like a sick trait of Scorpios. Like we're so used to survival mode or fighting or being the tough person, the tough guy or
Yeah.
whatever, that when peace comes around, it's really uncomfortable. Which
It,
is
it
like,
was.
I
Yep.
got a sense of peace after she passed. And it
Mhm.
was like, oh, like, damn, it's uncomfortable. Like, I don't have to fight anybody. I don't have to fight or compete or act on revenge. So I was like, damn, so what is my motivation now? Like, I was doing it,
Mm.
it's out of spite, you know? So I had to, like, I'm slowly getting it back. And I'm like, okay, I do it for the art. Like, I do it for, it's never, like I always say to people, I don't do it for the money. It's the experience of that moment. Like I said, I'm trying to create as much memory so I can never forget this moment. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. That makes perfect sense. And like Shirley, is it Wednesdays? Do you do Wednesdays at night, or what time do you do
We
your
had a
your live?
routine. We had a
Oh,
routine.
okay, but you're a Gemini. So I love that Gemini routines change.
So it used to be Moon Day, Monday, but it's now because of damn Uranus. I'm not gonna blame the planet, but it is. I just want to let everybody know it is fucking Uranus. Okay, it's gonna be a Wednesday or it's gonna be a Friday. One of them days, we're gonna figure it out. I have no idea. I have literally no fucking idea.
I love it. That's such a Gemini answer.
And like every time I think I have once I plan like something, and it makes sense. Like even KRS, he'll say it like this: the when you do astrology and you're kind of doing it accurately, like you're not
Yeah.
playing around. I'm not saying that I'm the best or anything, but when you, it's like activating Pokemon cards. So like
Oh,
like I say, if we start talking, if I say something truthful about a sign, I start seeing it like right around, like after, if I do a reading on a person who is a Sag or a 9, like if you add this happened to me on live. I did a reading on a person whose number adds up to 9. Like I just added it up, and I swear to you, the live ended right after because that's the last night. And literally the whole thing shut down. My thing, that was like, oh great. And I'm telling,
what?
and I that's why I be giving people warning. I was like, I don't really want to read a Scorpio. No offense, love you guys, but as soon as because my grandmother in the house is a Scorpio, so if I read a Scorpio, she's gonna call me. Like, I swear to you, and it's a
Yeah,
symbolism because it's like words are spells, and certain spells
you are.
happen faster. Like if we, if we keep like when we say Mercury retrograde, and then you have tech problems, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
giving it the spell. You're like
the
giving
power.
the power. So it's the same thing because it is true. Mercury retrograde will cause tech problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is a true statement. So you're giving it more life and conviction. So yes, I don't
No, you're
know,
right.
but though ideally it's Monday, maybe Wednesday, maybe Friday. It's a
That
maybe.
is
Stick
such a
around.
that is such a girl. That's like I love my Geminis. My husband's a Gemini. I have learned to be so flexible, and I love it because my Aquarius has taught me to be flexible, right?
Yeah.
So I've learned to be
And
like, for
Geminis are
one thing,
all over the case, but they get shit done. Have you ever seen a Gemini be chaotic, but everything gets done?
yeah,
And I'm like, guys, there's a method to our madness. Just
a
relax. Like,
hundred, 100%. There's times I was just telling my best friend today. I was like telling her, I'm like, there's times that I just look at my husband and I go, you know what? He's gonna get it done. He'll figure it out. Like I
it's
can't. Like
true.
it may not be my Capricorn way, right? Which is like
Yes, yes. A
which is
plan.
totally. He is just like here, there, and I'm just like, okay, your chaos is structured. I gotta let it go.
It's
It's not me.
true.
It's
It's
not
so
me.
true. I say, and it works. That's the only way. I don't know how to make it. It's unfortunately the way. The moment a Gemini plans, fail, they turn into a Virgo because Virgo's the sign of planning.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's not, you waste. So you know what I learned? Geminis feel like they're wasting time if they become a Virgo. I hope you can
Okay.
hear me.
Yes, I can
Can
hear you.
you? Okay. So Geminis feel like they're wasting time if they become a Virgo because Virgos analyze too much the information.
Yes.
Geminis just want to get the information as much as they can as
Uh-huh.
possible during that time frame. Because
Yeah.
Aquarius, sister sign or soulmate sign, is time,
Yeah.
futuristic time. So in the brain of a Gemini is like, I'm wasting the future by sitting here and analyzing all this information when I could just be getting the information. Doesn't make, like, that's
Yeah.
why I will I tell that to my uncle when I used to talk about coins and we need to be like, and I used to try to explain to my uncle to buy Bitcoin. This was one of my big findings that I used to tell my family. And I said, we watched the movie Ready Player One. And I just went on a whole like psychic breakdown. Like, guys, we have to get coins. That's the whole point of these next 12 years. And it wasn't clicking to me because Bitcoin was like a $200, $300, but it wasn't
Yep.
it wasn't mainstream. And then as
No.
it got mainstream, he's like, yeah, no, but people are going to lose money. But it was going from 200 to 4,000. And he had a lot of cash. So I was like, you should buy it. You should buy it. Till this day, he'll tell you, I would be like a millionaire right now. I was like, in the hood, you'd be a hood millionaire. Like,
Right? You're like,
yeah,
dang.
he didn't
So,
listen.
so surely randomly, just off the
Hmm.
top of your head, you don't have to look anything up. But it's funny you bring up Bitcoin because I actually was looking at Bitcoin today and how like it's dropping. Is it on a cycle right now?
It
Like,
is.
is it
It's
gonna
going to
is
drop.
it's gonna drop more, right?
Yes, it is. It's supposed to. So Bitcoin is a Capricorn, like you.
No way.
So it does better when there's a lot of more Earth in the sky.
Yeah.
Or do you notice how it always goes up in the winter?
Yes.
Because
Yes. Yes.
it's a Capricorn, but it has like Aquarius placements. So when it does goes like it shoots up the most because it's
Hmm.
North Node, so its destiny is Aquarius. So when there's air in the sky, so Jupiter and Gemini, or like Libra and Gemini, or Jupiter and Libra. So like right
Wow.
now we're going into Cancer.
Yeah.
It doesn't really like cap for Capricorns is not a big deal. Jupiter being in
Yeah.
Cancer, it's just our opposite. You're getting there. It's not important, right?
Hmm.
Jupiter
Hmm.
in Leo, it's another purge season, so it's gonna go down again. But when we go into
Oh,
Virgo, we're gonna go back up. It does this all. If you go back and look at it every
yes.
time, it does the same thing.
And you
So
know what? So a new all-time high is coming, right? I feel like a new all-time high.
it's it should. It should. One, not an old time, not like 100,000. The 100,000 will happen
Oh.
again when it goes into air signs. So when it goes into
So
air
like
signs, it goes
so
up
like Libra
crazy.
season? Like Libra season?
Yes. Hmm.
Oh,
But when
dang.
a
Yeah.
planet, when like one of those big planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, something like that, goes
Yeah.
into like right now Uranus and Gemini, when it goes into like the 0 to 10 degrees, is gonna go up crazy. Then after that, it'll die down till Jupiter goes into Libra. So
Yes.
only when is an air sign, a big planet,
Yeah.
not like Sun in Libra, not like Mercury, not Venus, none of that. Mars maybe. So like Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, when they enter air signs from 0 to 10 degrees, Bitcoin goes up the craziest. Um,
Dang.
or when it's like one of those same big planets into like
Yeah.
the first 2 degrees, first 0 to like 5 degrees in a water sign, because his Venus is in like Pisces.
Oh, see, because I remember, I think watching one of your lives
Hmm.
and you were sharing about how you were like, I was telling you guys, like those who want to like jump on the trade that I just did, and you're right, like you killed it. You put it in, you put the trade in, and by the end of the day, when you pulled out, like it was a big like gain. It
Yeah,
was a
that's like
big
literally you
gain.
can time it like right now the moon is in Scorpio, so in like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days when the moon goes into Aquarius, like after the full moon, it should go up
Yeah.
again. Because remember, it's a Capricorn and it's a full moon in Capricorn.
Yes, on the
So you
29th. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so on the 29th it goes up and then it goes back down. Like it's like it's like a little pump, like basically.
Yeah. No, I'm excited, and I've always like when you've talked about that, I'm always like, okay, I gotta watch. I gotta like make sure. But
Just to
again, I
watch
think
it is so cool, like to see it,
it's
like
so cool.
to
Yeah.
me to see, like, because it's not a human, it's like a entity out of a
Yeah.
financial entity, and for it to move when the moon moves is like, okay, there's something here. Like this is, which is basically what I got into it for. Like all astrology for me was like, okay, I gotta find a way to get money, and not like via selling people something or getting a reading. I'm talking about big boy money, you know. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh my God, this makes so much sense why these people like SpaceX. Elon Musk waited for Jupiter and Venus to be in Cancer right on his money sign. So he has to
Okay.
have an astrologer. Like only an
Dude, they all
astrologer would tell
do.
you that.
I'm
Like, you
sorry.
know?
I'm a firm believer. Anybody who has like wealth, who like they all have some sort of advisor,
And that's
right?
why
Like,
Kim, so like Kim, remember she had like psychics and they was telling her about her passing the bar or like
oh
becoming
yeah,
a
yeah,
lawyer.
yeah.
And I'm like, why are you asking a psychic? Ask an astrologer, because she's gonna be a lawyer, because it's karmically her journey. Her dad was a lawyer,
Oh, because her
right?
dad. Yeah.
So dad is a lawyer, and I'm like, you're gonna be able to do it, but not right now, because we're at. Remember when all that was happening with Skims was at the end of an era. Neptune
Yeah.
was leaving Pisces into Aries,
Mm-hmm.
so Pisces is what she was all these last 12 years. She was selling a dream, an illusion. She was selling us
Mm.
something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why her sales went up, and the crap that she sells, like her illusion,
I
her
know.
clothes. And you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because that's all an illusion. Nike shouldn't be $178, like because it says
No.
Nike,
Yeah.
but that's an example. That's her illusion. That was her Neptune and Pisces.
Yeah.
But now Neptune is in Aries. Aries is the fighter. Lawyers fight for you. That's, you see
Mm,
how that is, now is her time to go
yeah.
towards being a lawyer, which is her new hat that she's trying to wear. But it was so, it gets me upset when I'm like, when this, like, they'll come out, like, people like her and be like, oh, yeah,
Mm.
psychics are fake. And I'm like, yeah, you went to a psychic. You didn't go to an astrologer.
And like, and also you went like a psychic knows who you are, and unless they're a good one, they're gonna tell you the truth of like, hey, it's not right now. It's later. It's gonna pause or whatever,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But obviously everybody's like wanting to feed into her ego. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's also the thing of like with all of that when it comes to astrology, you can't hide. Like
Mm.
it's in your face, and like you said earlier, like it's unbiased. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna see what you're gonna see. And if you're willing to be open to what's going on or what maybe you can work on, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
you can quantum leap. Then you can go like 10 steps forward faster because
Oh,
you're
you're not
in the
wasting your
zone.
time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because there's a
Yeah.
time for everything. And if it's not the time for that, that doesn't mean it won't be, but this is not what time. That's why like I said, I like astrology because it's a calendar. It just tells me this is the time for this. So that I hate wasting time. Back to the Gemini
Yeah.
thing. So if it's not with the timeline, like it's not gonna work.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And again, you guys, I've learned so much from just watching Shirley's TikToks, and I'll definitely put her on here so you guys can follow her tag and see where you can follow her YouTube, her TikTok, her Instagram, all of that. But I mean, I read your comments. I mean, one, I love your comments because the people are hilarious on there. But when I read the comments of just
I try
everybody,
not to.
it's
I
so
yeah,
funny.
it is. I just try not to because they're like, it's like triggering me, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop.
No,
So
it's hilarious. Sometimes I'm like, this is such a novella between themselves, like just between
yeah, like
themselves.
it's been crazy sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
But I think what's so beautiful, what I've read, Shirley, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but because I know you're so busy in the moment reading the charts and giving us all the information, is there's a lot of people on there who share the same sentiment as I do, where we share how helpful it was and how your
Mm-hmm.
guidance really gave us hope, or your guidance helped us on a decision making, or just being hopeful on a specific thing that's going on in our lives or whatever, right? And there's a lot of people on there that you've helped. You know what I mean? Like you've helped a lot of people.
From I think I wish I kept track, but you know how that goes with us. But like I was 26 when I started reading people like that are not like my immediate internet people. My Aquarians, 'cause that's what I call the online people.
Yeah.
And since I'm 32, don't like that number, but I guess it keeps going up. It was at 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That's 6 years of reading
Yeah.
strangers. So I had to learn how to like, okay, how to just not waste time, all this stuff. But I know that it's over 2,000 people, which to me
Yeah.
now, like I'm not gonna. I don't like labels. That's why, like, that lady that just got like in trouble for calling herself a doctor. I
Yes.
really hate that because I'm like, you just want to keep having this label, and if you would just tell us your work, like, show me your work. That's the
Mhm.
Virgo's placement that I have. I saw another influencer online, and she talks about like dating, and
Oh, yeah.
she's written it down, like, and when you see her on live, she's like writing things down. She's like, I've interviewed over 10,000 people or since she started, and I'm like, I would love to see those stats. No, I'm a numbers person,
Uh,
and
yeah.
that's why like now I'm trying to like track people's stuff. That way, that's why I'll pay for iCloud. So if you see me
Mhm.
writing in our text, because I want to, it's like a file, not that I'm going to share with the
Yeah.
world, but I
No, no,
want
no.
to
Yeah.
know, Capricorns, you go through these numbers, you go through these years. If you had a Saturn in here, you would be this way or that way. And those are the things that I like to see. Like, I'm not here like, oh, I help these many people. I'm not gonna tell you the numbers, but it's like to gather that data would be amazing, because then it would be like, it would prove to me, one, that astrology is real. It's a real science.
Yeah.
Because I hate the way they call it pseudoscience. And then I'm
Mm,
like, I want to show the effects. I spoke to one person before, and she's like, because of you, I went from like a sous chef to owning a restaurant. And I'm like,
no
damn, I don't, right. Which she's
way.
like, she does way better than me. I'm not, not comparing, but I was like, damn, I wonder what I said. One,
Yeah.
but you see how that one impact, like, even if you didn't say, you didn't believe me, but you just
Yeah.
kept looking at your chart, like you just kept looking at that chart online, and you just kept staring at it, your soul gets like downloads, like, and it will get
Yeah.
activated. Like, even if you keep reading the same thing, that's what happened to me, by the way. I would just read it, and I would read the
Yeah.
same thing over and over, and then I would like track it day by day. That's how I learned it. Besides online, I would track the moon every day. And then that's how I knew, well, Chiron feels like this. Uranus
Yeah.
feels like that. Like, and that's how I was able to like, tell you, okay, Uranus rules aunts and uncles, and Chiron is a
Mm.
womb, and, or you fix things. Like when the moon is over your Chiron, you find yourself cleaning or fixing something in your house that needed
So
to be
true.
like fixed, like for real. Like if and I just like that. Like for instance, Chiron went into Taurus like a couple days ago, and all I
Yes.
kept thinking about was like, why do women have to take care of their elders when they get older? Why do we have this karmic curse? I'm just like, why the man, and we only make 70 cents to the
Oh,
dollar?
the dollar.
Like, why do we have to take care of them? Why don't you go to the man? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for instance, I have that, especially like in our culture, like Hispanics and
Yeah.
Black people, the women, we get stuck with the elder. Like, and I'm like, how did this fall on me? Like, I mean, aren't you the greater? Like, that's why I tell me, aren't you the greater sex? Please show me the greatness. Like, so
And again,
yeah.
because it goes back to, our elders, what do they need the most towards the end? Compassion,
Hmm.
patience, empathy, right? And as women, that we're natural nurturers, like especially when we're in a safe environment, right? We're able to just thrive and just nurture like crazy. I would love, because I think this is important, and I love always hearing you share this on TikTok. But to somebody who's listening right now and is like, I've never done birth chart, I don't know, da, 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 da. Can you share about the seventh, or like finding your Venus and then the Jupiter, so that you can feel what's your partner supposed to be, like your future partner or your person gonna feel like, right?
Yes. So okay. Well, Venus is our love language. That's how you
Okay.
express your love. But Venus also shows your relationship with women, like the women around you, and you're like your mom and things. Like I only say that because I have a sucky Venus, and my Venus is in Virgo, and I'm like, that makes sense. The women in my family suck, but they're all Virgo. They're very beautiful. They're they're gorgeous. They do Virgo jobs like healthcare or something like that, or
Oh,
they're suffering from like a health problem.
yeah,
Like I
okay.
have a cousin who's like sick. She has sickle cell. She couldn't go to college, but she's very
Uh,
beautiful. If you looked at her, you'd be like, oh my gosh, she looks like Pocahontas.
yeah.
But I'm very critical of the way I express my love is like to the lovers. My lover is like, I'm like, oh, you're like, that's it. Like, that's all you did. Like, why don't you have a plan? Like, I'm forcing Virgo things up on them.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized as a Venus, in the man's chart, you're their Venus. So, like, cause
Mm,
when you meet a man and you look at their Venus, it will describe to you how they would want that woman to look or act. So, like, I used to meet a lot of, like, for instance, I dated a guy a really long time. For a very long time, and his Venus was in Sagittarius. And it makes
okay.
sense because I was a foreigner. Like, compared to his race, I was a different race, and I
Okay.
was studying astrology the whole time me and him was together. I was just like be on the computer all day long studying astrology. So that would make sense because I'm like learning all the time when he
Like,
was around.
yeah.
And he likes that, if that, his moms and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
he was not reflecting. This is how I learned about Jupiter. So Jupiter is our husband, and whatever
Yes.
house that's in, and whatever sign that is in,
Uh-huh.
your guy should reflect that. If he doesn't, it's the opposite. Like the same
Mm.
guy, I have a Jupiter in Libra. He didn't have a business. He didn't dress like a Libra, like aesthetic. So, but
Yeah.
he did a lot of the opposite of Aries. And it makes sense
Oh,
because when you're God, because I was a kid, so I met him young. So he did a lot
yeah,
of like the opposite of my Jupiter. Our Mars is our boyfriend. So Jupiter's our husband, like with the guy that you, so if you're with a guy more than 3 years, he's your
yeah.
Jupiter energy. If he's your
Mm,
baby father, he's your Jupiter energy. But if you're dating a guy like for 3 months, he's Mars. It is what it is.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I would look at him like, there's nothing Libra about you. Like, because he's not passive aggressive. He was mad aggressive. Aries.
Oh,
He was mad
yeah,
argumentative, Aries, and he was
Aries.
more of a risk taker than I was. Like he would gamble, he would he would argue with cops, and in my brain, I'm like, no, like we have to be diplomatic,
Yeah,
we have to be fair. He's like, he doesn't
yeah.
even know how to spell fair, okay? So I'm like, yeah, but that's how I knew. Well, something about me needs to change
Yeah.
so I can activate the positive energy. And that's how I started like weaving out guys that don't match my Jupiter. And I'm like,
Uh,
and it helps so much. Like
it
ever
does.
since I started to like, so Jupiter for women, if you want your Jupiter to get better, you have to like learn. So I would like learn psychology, therapy, or like take, like not going to school to go take a class. Cause it wasn't even even after I graduated college, I was still attracting non-Libra men, if that makes sense, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
because in my configuration, like didn't have a business, didn't look the appealing, if that makes
Libras
sense.
dress very well. Yeah.
Right. Or they look really well, or they're very good
Yeah.
with money. Right. So,
Yeah.
and was not attracting that. So I was like, okay, well, that means something about me I have to change. I have to elevate me. So I started learning psychology. I started treating my Venus things better. So I would treat Venus is like because that's where my Jupiter is, by the way. So it could
Yeah.
be, say your Jupiter was in Scorpio. You need therapy. You need to learn math, science. So whatever your Jupiter says, you do. Like if your Jupiter's in Virgo, take care of your health, have a better routine, right?
Mm,
Go learn something Virgo, like the human biology, because that's like those are Virgo rules human. So in that reference, as I got older, I
yeah.
started to attract Libra energy. They started looking
Okay.
better. They would have a business. They would bring money into the
Uh-huh.
table. So that's how I knew. I'm like, okay, at least I'm getting better at the energy. But yeah, so Jupiter tells you, it describes to you to the T. It should describe to you to the T things about your partner. And even if it's small, if not, you're gonna get the negative energy, like the negative parts of it. And I think the last thing I said was, because somebody asked me, sometimes one of the things somebody asked me is like, how do I know if I'm gonna end up with someone? I used to get that
Uh-huh.
question. As a Libra sun,
Oh,
I used to get a lot of these love relationship questions, which I hated because I was like, my shit sucks, y'all. I don't want to hear about your so anyways. So I'd be like low key hating, like, bitch, I don't want to hear that you just found the man of your dreams because I'm here with fucking my nightmare. Like, so anyways, but I learned it just to get it over with.
yeah.
But basically, how do I know if you're going to end up with someone? Because like I said, I've read a lot of people that didn't. Like I know like a woman who's in her 50s, late, almost 60s, and she's never been in a relationship with like a long-term relationship. And
Yeah.
she's 60, she doesn't have a child, and she's
Mm,
always has this man that's kind of far away from her. He lives in another state. And it was because the ruler of your first house is you. You're like a character, right?
yeah.
And the ruler of your seventh house is your partner. If they're not connecting in any shape or form, squares, those are the positive things,
Yeah.
you're not going to see them. So, like, for instance, in your case, the ruler of you, because you're a Capricorn rising, it's Saturn in Scorpio. And
Uh-huh.
then the ruler of your seventh is your moon, because is a Cancer
Pisces.
house. And so
Oh,
you have
Pisces.
a
Uh-huh.
Pisces. So you see how your moon is in Pisces and your Saturn's in
Uh-huh.
Scorpio. That's a trine. So you
Yeah.
will end up with someone. Like even when you're old and whatever happens, right? You're gonna be
Yeah.
with someone. Um, this person that I'm referring to, she was a
Yeah.
Capricorn rising. Her
Okay.
Saturn, which is the Saturn was in Leo in the eighth house,
Yeah.
and then the ruler of her seventh house was this moon in Virgo, and they did not connect. So you see how Leo and Virgo, they didn't have no connection, not even by
Yeah.
degree. no type of connection. So I'm like, that would make sense that he is, mind you, her moon's in the ninth house. He was in another state and he always tells her, I can't leave my job. I have like this, he had a service, which her moon is in Virgo. So he had like a really high demanding service business that it would
Yeah.
only make him money in those states. So that's why he would never move to her state. You see what
Yeah.
I mean? And I was
Yeah.
like, and that was all she talked about. And I'm like, I'm not gonna say her name, but I'd be like, so and so girl, this is what's happening. I wish I can get you a dog. You'll be so much happier. And she's like, Shirley,
Well,
I already have a dog. And I was like, another dog.
well, you know what's
Um,
crazy is that I totally so TMI. I totally recorded when you were talking about that,
mhm.
and then I watched it later at home, and I was like, okay, she said find the your
The
Jupiter.
Venus.
I was like my Jupiter's in Capricorn, and I was like, and my moon's in Pisces, and then I think you had said something else, and you were like, if your man doesn't feel like the energy of the first house of
Mhm.
your Jupiter, which mine is Capricorn,
Like if he
you were
doesn't
like,
do that,
you were like, you're
you're
with
not
the
with the right
wrong
person.
dude.
Yes. You're gonna get the opposite. You're gonna get, so like yours is in Capricorn, you're gonna get a Cancer man, like
Yeah.
whiny, emotional, not, and like he has to feel comfortable to do something. You know what I mean? And clearly, you have the first house because he's more action oriented. He's gonna do it.
Yeah,
He's gonna get up and do it.
he's so I think, and that's where I was like, oh man, yeah. I was like, he is a workaholic. Like this man works weekends, right? Like he is any doesn't care what day even I think even up to our wedding, I think he was still doing like emails like at 5 a.m. just because he was like, oh, really quick, really, so very just like super workaholic, right? Which I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then his Venus, I think I want to say, is Cancer, but his moon is Aries. And so,
Hmm.
and when
You
you
have to,
shared, I
you,
was,
that means you display stuff like that, which is like, hopefully when he's around, you feel like, damn, I want to work out. Let me get a set in, or let me go for a
yes,
jog or hike or
I
something.
get energized. I get
Hmm.
okay, like, oh, you're good. Like random shit. He'll be like, let's go fishing. Okay, I'll go with you. Like, I'll go for the adventure. Like,
Yes. Hmm.
you know, that sounds like fun.
And that's what he
But it's,
wants.
yeah, yeah,
If
it's,
you,
and
but
again,
if
like,
you, yeah, like if you
and I
did the
always
opposite,
tell,
like if you, because if he's like your his Venus in Cancer, and you did
uh-huh,
Capricorn things, like, no, I have to go to work, even though he wants to go fishing. It'll be like too many of those will cause him to like not
totally.
want you because you're not doing the Venus things in his chart.
Yes. And see, and that's the thing that I always like about just the birth chart readings or just everything that you share is because at the end of the day, like everybody can have their beliefs. No one's telling you not to have your beliefs, but this is such a tool. I've
Yes.
I've noticed I've noticed for myself every time after I have a reading with you, and I feel like I do one every year, and then like I do like a refresher. It's like I almost get like motivated to be like, okay, I already did this. Okay, now I'm going to use this tool, what she just told me, and now I need to be more proactive on doing more podcast episodes, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I like okay, cool. Like I'm gonna start writing more. I'm gonna start doing this more. It's a tool. So like I always tell
Yeah.
people, like no one's asking you to give up your religion. This is nothing about religion. Religion has nothing to do with this. At the end
No,
of the day,
no, right.
right?
I
At the
love
end
that
of the
they
day,
all of them are Tauruses. Most people, right? I'll be like every time they talk. No, I'm like, oh, you have Taurus in your chart. I know, I get it. It sucks.
you're
I
so I
swear to you.
that dude, I that you just made me think of a few people that I was like, oh, they are Tauruses.
Yeah, all the time. It's like as soon as it hit me, like I had a friend, she's like, oh, she got into like astrology. And then like
Uh-huh.
halfway, like 2 years later, she's like, no, I've been going to church, and I'm really like, I'm like gonna back away from this a little bit. I was like, go for it, honey. And
Yeah.
then she like randomly calls me and it was like Mercury was retrograde, Mars was retrograde. She's like, my ex-boyfriend called me and he just told me to go with him to Miami. And I was like, perfect timing. Like
Right.
Mercury and Mars is retrograde. You know what? Go for it, buddy. Let me
Girl,
know how much it
enjoy.
sucks. Like,
Girl,
Don't
for the time
question.
being.
Go right. I said, I will be using you. No offense. I'd be like, I will be using you as one of my examples on live.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're perfect for this. She's like,
Yeah.
why do you have to say that? I was like, well, you'll see. You'll figure it out. You'll know once you get there. And she's like, I didn't want to tell you you were right. She calls me like 3 months later. She's like, but you were right. I was like,
Yep.
if I had $1, bro, for every time I'm right, I'd be loaded. Like I'd be loaded. She says,
But
I
see,
hate being right.
and I feel like that's what, like, if anybody's listening today and has never was like, no, I don't like birth charts, or no, that's it. I just want people to understand, like, at the end of the day, like, no one's forcing you to do anything. This is all on your own. But it's just a cool tool
Mm-hmm.
to be able to, one, learn more about yourself. And I think if there's anything that I would say in the past 10 years that I continue to just do, especially after the whole everything I've been through, was like, I want to learn and uncover new stuff about myself that I know I'm not the expert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I need to go to the expert, and find out, okay, how can I be a better Carolina? And this is a really cool tool that intuitively I've always, since I was a kid, dude, I remember reading, what were those teen magazines that would have the horoscopes at the end? Remember? Like,
Vogue, I think all of them do.
right?
The,
So I
the
was like,
newspaper, Walter Mercado, like we
yes,
grew up, and these are
yes,
the same people that used to tell me be quiet at 5:45 p.m. are the same one like, yo, you need to stop. It could be demonic, and I'm like,
yeah.
well, I will burn in hell with destruction. And I'm like, but I like realistic. I be telling people like everything they tell you not to do, they're doing it. Like
I know.
one, and it's not I'm not asking you to light a candle. Like you know
Yeah.
me. First of all, I'm not
Yeah.
asking you to get a reading. You could come
No.
on the live 1,000 times and hear me be right 1,000 times so you get
Yeah.
bored. Like it's
And
a
you hear,
calendar.
and look, you guys, okay, if anybody's curious, I just say jump on one of her lives. Like, I have your TikTok on my notifications, so like I get notified every time you go on live,
Hmm.
right? And you guys, if you're curious and you've never, I highly suggest going on her page, watching one of her videos, or just happening to be on one of the lives. When I tell you that everybody who jumps on and everybody who gives their feedback, I have yet to have or to read any comments of anybody saying you're a liar, you
Hmm.
lied to me. I have yet, and I've been watching you for years.
And
I
I've been
have
waiting
yet,
for that. I'd be waiting. I was like, I'm waiting for that.
girl, not
But I
nothing.
take it because I take it like because even when we do the readings, I always tell you like if you don't want to believe me, go and like follow. Just do this. Follow the months. Like we're in Gemini season. This is your house. I guarantee you, this whole month you thought about getting rid of your bills as a Capricorn. Like I give you that example because
Yeah.
it's you could count it. It's 6 house away, like from you.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I mean. Like it's a math. It's a way to plan. It's just to keep you, especially if you're a person like I'm a person that didn't have parents or guidance.
Yeah.
This helped guide me a lot. Like if not, your girl would be elsewhere, like for real, especially in the city of New York. But I'm glad I was like 1,000% sure. Like every lifetime, if I have to reincarnate, I don't care if whatever I reincarnate, I just better be with astrology. Like that's it because I don't want to. I hate wasting time. I don't I it's like my fake mom and dad. I call the sun is our dad, the moon is our mom. And the way they
Mm.
move, it's like a mom would. Like the moon goes to every house or every sign within a month. Only think
Yeah.
about it. Your mom would do your plate, my plate. Think about like that's what a mom figure does. Before she
Yeah.
eats herself, she
Yeah.
goes around everybody else and checks, and then the
Yeah.
son, he can only handle one spot at a time. So like I'm like, yeah, it's already pre-written, and then that's what I tell people. If you just need to learn how to plan, especially without planning, that's really what that is. Like you don't have to keep learning and learning, read the books or anything. But as long as well, I'm a Capricorn, and it's been 6 months since my birthday.
Yep.
it just keeps you track. Like now you're gonna be 7 months since your birthday. This is your
Yeah.
halfway birthday. What did you get done? Like that's
Yeah.
those are the little anxieties as earth signs. You're like,
Yeah.
am I doing enough this year? You
I
know?
literally just had a reflection. I just did a journal the other day and I was like, okay, where am I at with my manifestations?
Yes, it's true. Like that's all that is. You're like, okay, what did I get done so far? It's been like so I trigger my like right now is like I'm a Libra, so is we're about to be 10 months away. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck did you complete? Like, did you just what did we get done this month? Whether it's externally, internally, like I gotta be my own. Like I said, I don't have a mom now, so never did it before, but now I keep it like if I think Saturn is like dad up there as well. I'm like, damn, the big man is watching me and he's gonna strike me
Yeah,
down and I can't take another strike. Like so that's
I
how I feel.
know.
Like, especially, it's because I'm the biggest fear. Again, if you don't trust a man, like some people don't are not as grateful or lucky to find a good, loving partner, man or
Yeah.
woman, and or even a trusting friend. Tauruses go through that.
Yeah.
And at least you have this. Like for sure, the moon is in Scorpio today. So
Yeah.
you like for instance is in your 11th house, you would connect with a friend, a stranger, you know what I mean? Like you're doing
Out of all
exact
days today.
days, right? And I'm just like, guys, it's so like, oh my god, I wish everybody knew astrology. This is why they don't teach. It's the same reason they don't teach us stocks, but they tell
Yeah,
you to get a loan. They don't tell you to invest your money to get more money. They would never do that because
that's
that
so
will.
true.
So why would they tell you, hey, here's a tool
A
that will
tool.
guide you, but believe in this imaginary man with blonde hair in the middle of the desert. He is always right. I don't know. Like that triggers me. Like all your life, you watch a woman give birth to life, but all
Yep.
of a sudden, Adam just made Eve out of a bone. That really triggering to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm insane. That's how I be telling people. Like,
But I
I'm
think,
insane.
and again, right? We're in the age
Mhm.
of Aquarius, so I feel like I love all of these spiritual awakenings that we're having from so many systems during the
Mhm.
Capricorn era, right? That are
Yeah.
being broken, that are being
Yeah.
broken down. But again, everybody, if there's anything, like, look, jump on Shirley's TikTok. Like, I don't say it, I'm not trying to promote it and advertise it just for the hell of it. I'm saying it because, like, I truly enjoy it. I truly learn so much every time you go on a live. Like, I again, billionaires use astrology. Okay?
Mhm.
They don't like
Trillionaires,
that's what
excuse me.
and
Trillionaires.
trillionaires, right?
You know what I
Like,
mean? He just did it.
don't be afraid of something just because it's the unknown. This is a tool, and since I've met Shirley and since I've had the pleasure of having a session with her, I have been able to not only track myself better, but just be able to get to those goals and really be like, okay, yeah, by this year I need to start setting up the foundation for X, Y, and Z. For this year I need to start setting it right because I'm patient. I'm patient for what's
Mhm.
coming, right? But
Mhm.
but again, it's a tool, you guys. I really think you guys should totally try it if you're open to it. But thank you guys for listening. Shirley, thank you so much for being an amazing guest. You know me, I love to bug you, so I'm gonna be. I'll have a session before the year's over.
No, I'm here. I like to ramble. So hopefully everybody gets something out of this.
Yeah, no, I think look, again, I always share. I feel like a lot of people know me through because of grief, and I
Mhm.
was very open and vulnerable about it. And we all have grief, and so I was very grateful for you to share about your mom, because sometimes people forget that grieving a parent that maybe you don't have the best relationship with, that still hurts.
Yeah, of course. I'm not a robot. As much as I try to be, but it does. And I mean, but I'm thankful, grateful. Like you said, our score that even if it wasn't Scorpio, I promise you, it was like I needed to evolve from that space that I was in. I don't want to
Yeah.
operate in competition. You know what I mean? I want to do it I want to get up not for survival, but for joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're in
Yeah.
that joy era.
We are. We are. Like, I feel like the survival mode was me a couple years ago, and
Hmm.
now I'm like no, I don't want to be survival mode. I'm really
No,
happy where I'm at.
it's
But
exhausting.
it is exhausting. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Right.
But you guys, thank you so much. Shirley, thank you so much again. Amiga, I'm always here and I love seeing you shine so bright and you are killing it on TikTok. And it just makes me so happy to see how you are the person to go to. I don't care what you say, you are the person on TikTok and there's more to come. So I'm super excited. Please follow her,
Yes.
you guys. I'll have the information here. But thank you for being a part of Cam Can I Be
Thank you for
Honest?
having me. This was awesome. I learned so much.